Okay, so this video is going to entail the first step of doing a weight-based calculation, and that is figuring out how many milligrams we need to give our patient based on their weight. So, all weight-based problems are going to give you a very special thing that we need to remember. So we have right here this equation. So what this means is you need to give 10 milligrams for every kilogram the patient weighs per dose. So however many kilograms, if my patient weighs 20 kilograms, for every 20 kilograms they get 10 milligrams of the medication. Another thing that's going to give you is how much the patient actually weighs, because how can I figure out how many milligrams I need to give them if I don't know their actual weight? The weight is usually going to be in pounds. The equation calls for kilograms here, but your weight is in pounds. So in the dimensional analysis, we need to first always convert weight to kilograms. And after that, we need to figure out, second, we need to figure out how many milligrams. So you are going to start off a weight-based problem with the weight. You're always going to put the weight over 1. Okay. So in this equation, our weight is 18 pounds. Think the weight is the given. You can't say that this 10 milligrams per kilogram per dose is your given because it's not complete. It's a part of the problem, but it's not your given as in it's a whole number. Your given that's a whole number is your pound. So we're going to put that over 1. We know that we're in pounds, and we're in pounds, but we need to get to kilograms. So, what is our conversion for pounds to kilograms? You should remember 2.2 pounds equals 1 kilogram. So, we know pounds is at the top here, so it has to go on the bottom because we want to get out of pounds and into kilograms. So, we're going to put 2.2 pounds on the bottom and 1 kilogram at the top. Perfect. Now, we need to figure out milligrams. So first, convert the weight, which we did. Now we need to figure out how many milligrams. So right now we have kilograms, and somehow we need to end up in milligrams. And how are we going to do that? So you're going to go back up to this equation because this is where the milligrams is involved. And remember I told you this is saying 10 milligrams for every 1 kilogram. So you can say that that is 10 milligrams equals 1 kilogram. It's our second conversion factor. And we know kilograms has to go on the bottom because we want to cancel it out. So we're going to put 1 kilogram on the bottom and 10 milligrams on the top. And that is going to allow kilograms to cancel out and end up in milligrams, which is what we wanted all along. So you're going to cross multiply this. Which is going to turn into 18 times 1 times 10 over 1 times 2.2 times 1, which is going to give us 180 divided by 2.2, which is going to equal 81.8 milligrams is how much this patient would need. All right, so we're going to come down to the second problem. I'm going to write out our steps again. So the first thing we need to do is convert the weight. The second thing we need to do is determine how many milligrams. So it's a similar setup. What do we need to get to? It says right here, I'm going to highlight it in yellow, how many milligrams per dose the child receive. Our given, our whole number that doesn't need it to be anything done to it, it's just a whole number that we can put over 1, is the 70 pounds. Our conversion factor is going to be the 75 milligrams per kilogram per day. So, something I wanted you to know in this problem is the problem is asking you per dose. So, a dose equals a one-time medication administration. The equation is telling us you should give your patient 75. Here, let me erase this. This equation tells us we should give our patient 75 milligrams for every kilogram per day. And as you see as it goes on, it tells you divided into 2 dosages. So this is how much they need to take 75 milligrams for every kilogram per day, but you should divide it in 2 doses. The question is saying how many milligrams are going to give per dose. So this is adding in extra steps. So your third is determine how many milligrams needed. And then your third is divide by 2 doses. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is convert weight. The given weight is 70, so we're going to put that 70 pounds over 1. And we know the conversion factor for weight is 2.2 pounds equals 1 kilogram. We need to cancel pounds out, so it has to go on the bottom. So 2.2 over 1 kilogram. Now we need to figure out, we did this, determine how many milligrams we needed. So we know that the only place milligrams is talked about is here. And it's 75 milligrams per kilogram. That's our conversion. So we're going to put 1 kilogram at the bottom and 75 milligrams at the top because we're trying to get to milligrams and cancel kilograms out. So we're going to cross multiply this as we usually would, which is going to give us 70 times 1 times 75 over 1 times 2.2 times 1. Which when I put this in my calculator, we're going to get the top is going to be 5,250 over 2.2. And we know this is a division problem. So 5,250 divided by 2.2 equals 2,386.4. So we did our second step. This is how many milligrams the patient will need. The third step is divide by 2 dosages. So that simply just means divide by 2 doses. So it's going to be this number divided by 2, which is going to end up equaling 1,193.2 milligrams is how much the client will have per dose. These can be tricky, so I recommend watching this video several times, doing many practice problems to get the hang of it.